so far we are using if-else statements in almost every program. But this is really a kind of mess, right? So this can be solved and we can just replace all of this code with a single liner code. And that is possible with the help of Ternary Operator. So let's dive into this and see how we can use Ternary Operator in our programs. So let's get started. Hey coders, this is Neha from WebStack. Welcome to another episode on this JavaScript series. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and if you do, make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already and hit the bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Now let's jump into VS Code and check out these operators. So talking about ternary operators, the basic syntax of these are, so we will simply write a condition and then we can write question mark, which will actually evaluate this condition, and then you can return the statement. If it is true, it will return this. Otherwise, if that condition is false, actually it will go to the next statement after colon and then it will return that particular statement. So in this case, I am returning false here. So let's just comment this out. Now, if you have seen my previous videos on conditional statements, you must have seen we have just created a movie ticket booking authentication system in which we have provided the role and all these conditionals. So all this code can be replaced by a single liner. So let's try to see some simple example here first. So I simply want to check I have a variable, so let's say the variable is logged in again. So if this is logged in equals to true, so I want to see something like we are checking out the roles and all that thing. So I will be simply just checking if is logged in is true. So I'll simply just write here is logged in question mark. So it will automatically check that whether this is logged in is actually true or is it false. So you can write any expression here if you want, or you can write any boolean variable as well. So ultimately this expression actually should be boiled down to either true or false. So if it is logged in, so I want to print something. So let's say console.log, we will say you are logged in, and if it is not logged in, I'll just put a like colon and then I'll write console.log and I'll say please log in. Please log in first. So this is how I will be writing, and because I'm using some formatter here, that's why these are coming in the next lines. So let's just refresh the page and you can see we are getting here you are logged in because my is logged in value is true right now. So let's just change the value and now see the result. It is saying please log in first. So this is how a simple ternary operator can be written. Now let's check out another variant of this ternary operator where we can use multiple statements, and yes, we can use multiple statements inside this ternary operator. So let's see how to use multiple statements now. If I just copy paste this code, I'll just copy paste it for now like this. And here I want actually to print one more statement, or let's say I want to keep some status as true or false. So let's say I have a variable here. I'll declare it with let. So I'll just say status equals to, or just don't define it right now. And now I want to say if the user is logged in. Actually, I want to do two things. So I want to print you are logged in, as well as I want to set this status as, let's say, logged in, or let's say logged out. So whatever you want to store inside it, you can just do that. For that, I'll simply use here a parenthesis and a comma operator, and we can simply write status equals to, let's say, true. So I'll just write status equals to true, and then you have to simply close this parenthesis. And after this, let's say in the false statement also, I'm giving multiple statements here. Let's put a comma. And then I can give status equals to false. That's it. So this is how you can work with multiple statements inside your ternary operator. So let me just comment this out so that you don't get confused here. So now if you can check, I'll save it and you can check it is saying please log in first. So that is absolutely correct. And if I try to print the value of this status, so let's say what gets printed here. So actually it is printing false. So let me try to change this value. And now it is saying you are logged in and status is also true. Now let's try to put multiple conditions inside this ternary operator and also try to mimic this conditional example that we have done in the last videos. So if you haven't watched that video for this example, so I would suggest you to go on to the previous video first so that you have a good background of this example and then we can start with this ternary. So I'll just comment it out and here let's try to imitate that if and else and we will replace it with ternary operators. So I want to check actually two things. The first one will be whether user is logged in or not, and the second thing will be the role of user. So my is logged in value is true. Let's take one more variable here. So I'll just write role equals to admin. Or if you don't want to provide this value, you can also take it from user like we will be doing it in the later videos. So now talking about a simple situation here. So I'll be just writing if user is logged in. So this will be exactly the same thing which we have done earlier. So actually now I'm going to check the role of that user. So here I'll write one more ternary operator. So I'll write role equals to, or you can also write triple equals to. So I'll check if the role is admin, then I'll put a question mark here. Oops. So I put a question mark and I'll write, you can set any console statements if you want, or I'll simply return a string saying a simple message like welcome admin. And if the role is not admin, so I will be simply just returning welcome user like this. So very sweet and simple, but yes, you need to provide the else condition of the first condition that you have provided. So I will be writing here colon again, and then I will be writing if user is not logged in, then you have to say please log in. So this is how actually you will be providing these conditions. And if you want to return the values like this string welcome admin, welcome user or any statements, so I can also return it in some variable. So I'll just write MSG here. So now let me just try to print this out. So we will simply write here MSG like this and you can see it is printing welcome admin. So let's say my is logged in is not true and it is false. Now it is saying please log in. You can see now that whatever we have done in this if else with all these lines of code, it can be done within a single line. So actually it is coming into different lines because I'm using some formatter. So if you are not using that, you can just see I have written a single liner only and now it is giving me exactly the same answer like we were getting in the previous example. So here you can pause your video and try to go to the example which we have covered in the previous video and try to solve that example with the help of the ternary operators. So this is used a lot in all your projects which you will be doing. So we will replace all this if else with this ternary operator. So if you are still facing any kind of issues, I'll just give you the link of this MDN documentation in which your conditional or ternary operators are explained really well. So that's all for this video guys. I hope you are enjoying the content and if you do, please give the thumbs up and do share the video with all your friends so that we could reach out to our first 500 subscribers. So we'll see you in the next video.